Epps and Hughes on the floor right now. Lotto comes away with the steal, and he doesn't control it. Has to get it back. And contact's going to be made this time as McKinney hits the deck following contact by Troy Edding. So 28-29. LeBron George. Correction at the free throw line, Mario McKinney looking for his first points of the night. He went 0 for 2 at the free throw line early. So Elijah Lawrence comes in the game now for Josh Stewart. Lions down 1. Yeah. And the lefty, steady dribble. Knocks it down. And we're all tied up at 29.
Yeah. McKinney, kind of struggled first couple of times to the free throw line. Wasn't able to convert. Now I think he's settling down. Yep, got a rhythm.
Yeah, and free throw shooting has not been a strength of this Lion team, averaging over the course of the season about 67% per game. Something, again, that they're going to have to get better at if they aspire.
Got a mismatch down the low post there.
So inside,
lob up.
And again, no one was able to box out Nagode, who gets the easy putback on the miss, puts the Golden Eagles back up by 1. Monroe on the logo. Back up top to McKinney, back over to Monroe. Lotto with the deep three-point shot.
Drains
and
it.
rattles it in as he takes a team high 9 points. Well, we might as well make it a game high. 3 other players with 8. Loose ball situation, and they're going to get a timeout called.
Smart
by Jason Bichetta calls the timeout.
Smart call by the John Brown bench.
So, discussion there, 33-31, timeout called on the floor. So, a lot of back and forth action, and what John Brown's been able to do is get easy offense against that Langston defense. The Langston defense has done very good, I would say, Gary, overall at the perimeter of the attack. John Brown is only 2 of 6 from the three-point line, something we know they want to get to. However, the Lions are out-marksman them in that regard. 7 of 13, 53%, but that's not something you want to basically rest upon overall.
Right.
So, I mean, how do the Lions cut off those easy baskets? Again, the bigs are showing high, but not able to get back. And again, there's a lot of points in the paint being done here.
No, you're right. I mean, that half-court set where there are a lot of things that are happening. Go back up again, right there. Look at the rebound difference, 10-15, right? John Brown's doing a better job on the boards.
And also, with that being said, that's the point I was looking for, 20 paint points for John Brown.
Yep, they're getting in the paint, and the Lions are trying to make a living, out at the three-point line. They're doing a good job of hitting the three, shooting better. But, again, you want to be in a situation where you're efficient on every possession.
So Ulam's back in the game. George trying to look for airspace. 13 seconds. George into the lane and is going to be cut. Hughes with the foul. George hits the ground hard there.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a hard fall.
Anytime a player goes airborne and gets their legs taken, I'm gonna say he had the legs taken out, but he lost his balance in the air.
Yeah, he did. Because it wasn't as if it was a body to body sort of thing. He got up in the air and lost his balance on the way down.
So the Lions up by 2 as George steps to the free throw line and knocks down the first one.
And he can shoot some free throws now.
Oh, yes. I mean, second to Drew Miller. George is the second highest scorer, averaging 13.5 points per game over the course of the season. He's already more than halfway there. with, I believe, his 8th point or 7th point, one of the two. I think that is point number 8 right here for Georgia.
All
in the first
tied up.
half.
All tied up, 33 all.
2.5 to go before the end of the first half. Crucial stretch here for the Lions. Two teams that play the game differently, two different styles, and it looks like it's going to be another close game overall. Back in the hands of McKinney. Epps turns around and
Beautiful
fires.
look by Epps.
Beautiful jump shot by Epps, who just got his 10th point of the first half. First player in the game with double-digit scoring. 1:53 to go. Bounce pass inside off.
Yeah, it's going to be off of Epps.
Off of Lotto on that play. So 1:51 to go. And Drew Miller to inbound the ball. George. Back in the hands of George. George tries to hit with the Euro inside.
Ball,
the ball's going to be blocked by
Smith.
By Smith, who went up and got that one. Jamison Epps pulls it back and gets it in the hands of Monroe. Monroe standing on the logo.
McKinney.
McKinney's shot is no good. Rebound controlled there by John Brown. Ulam with the rebound and throws it up to Lawrence, and the ball's going to be stolen that time.
It should have been a foul. Yep.
Contact. Team foul number 8. So back on the other end, 1-1 for the Lions.
Yeah.
An opportunity to continue to extend the lead from the free throw line. And, of course, as we have not talked about today, free throws are only free
if you make them.
If not, they cost you.
That's right. This is McKinney's opportunity to get to the free throw line and really try to extend his scoring streak.
Yeah, he went, after missing his first 2, he made his next 2. So hopefully McKinney is still got the heat still rolling on that free throw shot.
Yeah, just needs to calm down a little bit, take his time, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Front end of the 1-1, he misses on that one.
Back rims it.
Here comes Lawrence. Across the timeline for John Brown. Back in the hands now of Edding. To the basket. Goes Nagode.
Turnover.
Out of bounds, turnover 2, the Lions.
Wow.
Here comes Bryce Monroe bringing it up. Under a minute to go in the first half. Lotto to Monroe. Epps over to Lotto. Up top to Monroe. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, got a wide open Smith.
And inside the lane, going to draw contact, a jump ball situation.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity there.
Will be John Brown ball. 28.6 seconds left to go. All right, now everything is set. Back to live action. 35-33, Lions up by 2. McKinney waiting on Lawrence at half court. Dribbling on the logo. Shot clock turned off, contact. Team foul number 6.
Was that an intentional foul? I mean, did he?
No. No, not intentional, just a common foul. Hitting on the wrist.
Yeah. So he must have got out of position there. I was wondering.
So,
I saw him extend hands. That foul way out here was just seemed to be a little unnecessary.
George with 5 seconds on the clock.
Yep,
2
turnover.
seconds. Turnover,
Epps
and the
on the
Lions
steal.
are going to go into halftime at the end of the first half with a 2-point advantage with the score 35-33. We'll break down the stats, take a look at the numbers here in just a second here. He's Gary Woods. I'm Maurice Prince. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to Langston Lions men's basketball, sponsored by LU Athletics, the Black Chronicle newspaper, Community Health Centers of Oklahoma, OERB, and Tinker Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe, and it never fails. Every time I visit this state and talk to the folks in the energy business, I learn something world-changing. The technology here is bleeding edge, and so is the focus on the environment. As for the people, they're among the smartest, most innovative, most talented workers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting anywhere. They're busy keeping our modern life going. Not a bad career choice, if you ask me. See their stories at oerb.com/Mike Rowe.
We heal.
We produce.
We discover. We nurture.
We show out.
We excel.
We restore.
Nosotros restauramos.
We educate.
We win.
Welcome back to the Langston Lion Halftime Report, sponsored by OERB. Just want to let you know, Court of Dreams is coming. Your chance to watch the Langston Lions at the Paycom Center as they take on two nationally NAIA-ranked programs competing at that center on the 29th, right before the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Game time is set for 12:15. Tickets are $35, which include admission to the Court of Dreams matchup between Langston University and Oklahoma Wesleyan. Now, that does not include, of course, an admission, I guess, to either the Thunder matchup against Memphis Grizzlies or later that evening, or the matchup against the Los Angeles Clippers. So you get 2 for 1 by participating in this game. Unbelievable. So that's even better. You can get your tickets at langstonsports.com.
We're going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to be there. You don't have to ask us.
Early. And late.
Yeah, so you basically you can go attend the game and then you can hang around and wait.
Right.
For the Memphis Grizzlies. So
that's right.
You can go from watching LU to watching the Thunder play.
Do we know what what the time slot is like between the two games? Like how much?
So basically, if the game starts at 12:15, we'll be over between 2:30 and 3.
Okay.
So that means the Paycom centers will open up basically around 4 o'clock for a 6 o'clock tip.
Okay.
So you're talking about that, but you got to remember all the amenities will be open.
Nice.
So you'll be able to hang out there.
And Big O's going to be in there too, right?
Exactly.
Man, I must get me one of those taters.
Yeah, well, after the game we see early on, you might want to do that.
Right.
So, Gary, we got a little bit of time here. Let's talk about the first half of this game. What was your overall impression of this game? First of all, both teams One team is staying true to their identity.
Right.
Langston is showing, I'm not going to say that. Both teams are playing a little bit out of character overall. I was going to say true to their identity. No, they're really not. John Brown is still able to score. They're one of the top scoring teams, but they've been opportunistic and getting points in the paint probably at a higher rate than they've done all season long. You're talking about guys like Drew Miller, who is their team's leading scorer, is not leading the team in scoring. You've got guys like Nagode and George leading the team along the way with both of them have 8 first-half points. But what do you think of this game?
Well, when I look at the stats just off top, they're doing a better job in terms of field goal percentage. They're shooting better from the field by about 10%.
54%, so make sure you get that out there.
Yeah, 54% versus Langston at 44%. But, again, when you look at how they're scoring, 20 points from the paint versus only 4 points from Langston. Langston is actually, shooting better from three-point range than John Brown. But the thing that's bothering me right now are the bench points. Right now, John Brown is doing a much better job of getting points from additional players in their distribution of scoring. It's just so much more balanced than what we're seeing from Langston. Whereas if you look at Langston, Jamison Epp is leading Langston with 10 points, and then after that you have Bryce Monroe and Lotto. So I'd like to see a little bit more, scoring from the bench, a little bit more balance, and I'd like to see more paint touches and scoring there. Yeah. And then here's the other point, too, I wanted to bring out. Free throw shooting is a huge difference between these two teams. When you look at in terms of free throw completion rate, I want to say that John Brown is around 80%. Actually, they're 83% compared to Langston only shooting 44% from the free throw line.
And closely contested games are separated that way. Now, These teams, as crazy it is, as good as John Brown is, on the season, they're only shooting 71%. Langston shoots 67%. So Langston is below their average. John Brown is above there. So
Langston is 20 points below their average. Bro.
Right, by free throws. But again, the numbers, 5 of 6 and 4 of 9, you're liking that Langston's getting there, but they've got to cash the checks when they get to the line.
Right.
This has been a closely contested first half. So you have to ask yourself, as I said, this is two different styles of teams. Something's got to give, and what is much more sustainable? Langston shot, Gary said it, a better three-point percentage against John Brown. 7 of 14. You got to ask yourself, if you're a Langston fan, can Langston go 14 of 28 in the second half? That's not likely.
Not likely at all.
So John Brown, who went 2 of 6 in the first half from deep, is likely to get hot from 3.
Yep.
So you have to understand that if you're going to compete in the game, it's a 2-point margin. Langston's going to have to be sharper on the edge and get more easier points in the paint, and that starts with Tim Igoefe being able to finish around the rim.
Yeah,
he had 2 first-half points, and you and I both argued about how many he should have.
Right.
Somewhere between 6 and 8 points. He's got to finish stronger inside. The Lions have got to finish inside.
Yep.
These nicely non-contested three-point shots and everything look beautiful. It's beautiful when you make them. But when you don't, you're giving a team like John Brown extra possessions and better looks, and they're getting easier shots than you.
Yep. And then we're also looking at rebounding, right? That's another key stat that we need to pay attention to, and that's something that jumped off the page at me. John Brown is +6 over Langston as far as rebounding is concerned.
Right, and in terms of that overall, Langston is number 3 in the conference, averaging 13.4 offensive rebounds over the season, and so far today they only have 5. So they can still get there, but that's what they average. Now, in terms of offensive rebounds, hey, John Brown only averages 10. They're already halfway there.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at that, those are games, that's how games swing from teams that are that. This is the number 8 team in the country. John Brown's looking for traction, and what we were talking about earlier before that, talking about rankings, John Brown's looking for respect. Langston's trying to show that they still deserve the respect that they have.
Yep.
Going to work here, back to live action. On the floor now you've got Bryce Monroe, you've got Lotto, you have Epps, and the turnover coming out the gate as George is going to steal it right there.
Yeah, John Brown is opening up in the zone.
McKinney and Smith is on the floor right now. So Coach Wright is making a change with the
They gotta
personnel
get a
to
switch.
try to get something going on. A nice rotation back there by Smith to cut down on those easy cuts, backdoor cuts. Basket, but a rebound right away goes John Brown.
Guys have to block out. You got to find a body.
George looking for airspace against McKinney, rises and fires, shot no good. Rebound and put back by Miller. 2 offensive rebounds on that possession alone.
Yeah, it was.
And we're all tied up at 35. And for the first half, you had basically 2 players with 8 for John Brown, George and Nagode. And then you got, of course, now starting to heat up now, Miller, who just got his first basket of the game.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry, his second basket of the game with 4 points. Now going to work. Smith with the stutter step to the basket
move.
and takes the go down the lane and scores.
That's what you need to have happen right now. You need to maybe get the ball, especially if John Brown's going to play man-to-man. Get that ball to Smith in the high post and let him go to work.
George off the screen. Nobody covers Nagode. Nagode goes inside and draws concepts from Epps. And Epps really just got him with the body. But again, Epps, all he did is put his hand up, but he got him knocked him off his spot. So Nagode goes to the free throw line. Nagode has 8 points in the first half. He's looking for his first basket of the second.
You know, I just don't understand why we're getting hung up on this switch way at the top of the key, and then all of a sudden we're not recovering in the big. It's too many times that big has just floated right down the middle of the lane, uncovered, and then the weak side is not rotating over to pick him up.
Smith checks out. Hughes comes in.
You know, we should be quicker with that switch.
Nagode goes 1 or 2 at the free throw line, and then chasing down the rebound that time goes McKinney. McKinney, quiet first half with 2 points. He is the team's second leading scorer with 9 points per game. Ball in the hands of Lotto from the wing. Now up top. Monroe, team's leading scorer, draws contact going against Nagode. Took it to the chest of the big man and will earn the right to go to the free throw line now. Nice job by Monroe. Monroe in the first half of this game had 8 points. He's looking for 9 and 10.
Yeah, Monroe getting up a little slow, grabbing his side. Kind of came down a little awkward.
So the Lions trying to make a difference in the free throw line. Monroe has not been to the free throw line today. This is his first opportunity now, and he misses that first one. And we know that one is that pain. You know what I mean? That first hit and that shock getting to the line. So he's got to shake that off and concentrate. And the shot. Rattles hits the back and falls in. So his first point of the second half, he's got 9 in the game. Game high right now still belongs to Epps, who's got 10. Ball in the hands of Miller. Miller being covered by Lotto. Now Nagode stepping out. Hughes running him back. Now again, the Lions have got to rotate back. Trying to keep the ball in the hands of Nagode. Throws it over across court, and the ball's going to get out of bounds.
Turnover.
And that's what you're going to have to do. But if you're going to run out the screen, you've got to sell out and rotate back, especially when the big in the paint has size.
Yeah.
Because what's happening here and what Coach Bichetta is going to tell his team is get the ball down there quicker.
Yep.
Stop
because
waiting.
It's there. It's just you got to see it.
Ball in the hands of McKinney. Ball back in the hands now of Monroe. Monroe drives down Main Street, draws contact, no foul.
Darius Hughes on the rebound.
Hughes with the rebound, can't get the putback back, tried to score it in the trees. Nice rebound there by Miller. George finds a crease, kicks it back out. 3-point shot by Edding. Edding shot's no good, rebound there by McKinney. Nice job there. Monroe. Lions trying to settle in now.
The more Langston can bait John Brown into taking that one-and-done sort of shot, the better.
So now working the ball around. Shot. 3!
Nice.
It's knocked down there by Monroe. So Monroe did a great job there. 41-36, 16-32 to go. Ball up top, Nagode. Hughes covering. And there's going to be contact up top there. Jamison, Epps, and Hughes making contact and bumping Josh Stewart there. Team foul number 1, 2 team fouls for the Golden Eagles.
41-36.
41-36 score. They're going to inbound the ball from the side, and it looks like at this point, Jamison Epps is going to check out. Joshua Smith going to come in from the sideline. Ball standing at the logo. Here comes George to the right wing. Trying to work it around inside. Miller trying to find a spot. They're going to blow the play dead, and they're going to call a foul here. It looks like on Hughes again.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's going to be on Lotto.
I mean, you got to give John Brown some credit. I mean, this is a well-executed offensive set. Doing a good job. You know, Langston's doing everything they can to stick tight. Good hand poke there by McKinney.
McKinney almost getting away with there.
Yeah, wasn't able to keep the ball in bounds, but he did an excellent job of selling out there to try to force a turnover.
Gabani's in the game now. He came in for Nagode, and also it looks like we had another substitution in the game for, that's just Gabani's in the game. So for the Lions, you have Lotto,
movement.
Hughes.
We got to switch
McKinney.
back quickly. Good.
And then a wide open shot for Stewart. Stewart misses wide right.
Good defensive possession by the Lions.
So 15:59 to go. And right now the Lions defense has just been pesky enough to disrupt that John Brown rhythm right now.
Well, they have to keep it up. They want to make sure that, they rotate appropriately. They want to make sure they get good on-ball pressure. Try to disrupt things. John Brown has shown that they will throw the ball away under intense pressure. Langston just needs to be able to pick their punches and make sure that they play good fundamental defense in the meantime.
So looking at that from that standpoint, now
inside,
three ball by Lotto. Lotto now into double-digit scoring. He's got 12. And that's one statistic we did not talk about, and that's something we can talk about now. In terms of total turnovers at the end of the first half, screen there at the top. Chris Wright is losing his mind there at the top. Driving to the basket goes Edding, and they're going to put 2 in. 44-38, 6-point lead. Timeout being called on the floor. But let me talk about this real quick, Gary. The course of this season, John Brown averages 11.4 turnovers per game. Langston averages 13.2. Now, if the trend here at the end of the first half, John Brown had 10 turnovers to Langston 5. So if the Lions can continue to force more turnovers against John Brown, that will continue to keep them off balance, out of sync, and the Lions can build on the lead if they still choose to attack the inside. And if you start knocking down some threes on the outside, okay, we'll take it. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm anti-3, even though you and I both believe the mid-range game is the lost art. But the Lions have earned the right to shoot threes in this game based upon the first half percentage.
Well, yeah, but the likelihood
but.
Okay, here's the reality of it, Mo. As the game gets long and the legs get mushy, the 3-ball gets flat. Unless you got some guy coming in off the bench that's fresh who can really make it rain. But unless you have that guy, the game is going to be won in the paint. It's going to be won with those high percentage shots, and it's going to be won at the free throw line because the likelihood of us being able to maintain that. And also, too, Mo, we're uncharacteristically – I mean, we are this first half is very uncharacteristic.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I'm not a person that necessarily will endorse gambling of any kind on a public forum.
My mind was thinking that. This is like, okay, you hot right now, but you got to know when to take your money and get off the table. You always got to play with the house's money. Oh, we just threw that away.
Nope, nice recovery there by Hughes, who wants to go into the lane and draws contact, and Gabani's going to foul him here. Team foul number 2 against John Brown.
Right.
So 3-2 is what it is. No, I agree with you.
We shaking them and we hitting them. We hitting a number, right? But eventually the dice is going to change up on you, and we need to get off in that paint, and we need to be playing with the house's money.
Shot missed there by Lotto, recovered there by Miller on the rebound. Here go to work goes George. George into the corner. Throws it into the corner. Bounce pass inside. Good defense there by Smith. Exactly. Steady dribble on top by McKinney. To the left wing. Monroe slows it down. There are 3 Lions in double-digit scoring. You got Lotto, Epps, and Monroe. Left wing, Monroe sets it up with 15 on the shot clock. Plenty of time up top. Now Hughes over to Monroe.
Yeah, it's physical down there. They got the double team waiting on Smith if he gets it on the block.
Lotto. Now again, somebody got to drive inside and dunk. Lotto step back 3. With time expired, but a rebound by Hughes with the putback.
That's what you need. Good rebound and putback by Hughes.
So
46-38, Lions lead.
Timeout on the floor, 46-38 is the score right now. Nice job overall. And the Langston Lions have pushed the lead up by 8. Looking at the biggest lead in the game, was by the Lions by 6. The largest lead by John Brown in the first half was 5. So you know the Lions have extended it here. And it's not danger time for John Brown because the Lions, again, have to earn the right to be respected from this standpoint. The Lions have not outscored their opponents on average this year. What they have done is brought the defense to create that 8.9 margin of victory that they have earned the right to do. But it's been done on the defensive side. Now, if they start breaking out and all of a sudden in the middle of December in Oklahoma when it's 60 degrees, and we're sitting there going to ourselves going, they say next week winter's here. I just want to say at some point, like you said, winter is going to be winter. Just as you said, at some point in time, you got to pick up your money and go home.
Yeah.
And take it back to what you are and what you do. But right now, I'm going to sit there and say, keep going, Gary. Just keep going. Just keep calling red.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't want us to get in a situation where we're so rhythmed in so locked in to hit these 3 balls, and then when the bottom falls out of it, okay, let's get back into our half-court set. Let's get into the paint. When we haven't gotten into the paint all game, we need to start getting those paint touches right now.
Yes.
We got to get in there, whether we throw the ball down in the low post, whether we get the ball to the high post and drive in it, whether we tack off the wing, whether we use some backdoor cuts, pick and roll, don't matter. We just got to get there.
No, we got to find a way to get there overall, and that's something that absolutely has to come.
And then when we get there, we got to get fouled and we got to get to the free throw line.
Right. Now, when we
got to make them.
We got to make them. We definitely got to make them. And it needs to be also stated today that the Lions are without, we haven't talked about this too much. They were without one of their high percentage three-point shooters, and that's Dalen Andrews. We have not seen him at all in today's game, and, dealing with an injury overall. And that's another factor of a guy that you don't have on the floor. Back to live action now. Coming across the timeline goes Lawrence. Again, some changes being made here by Coach Bichetta in his 11th season here as John Brown's head man. Inside goes Edding.
Good defensive.
But even better rebound
Good
by
defensive
Monroe.
Pressure by Monroe.
Monroe grabs his second rebound of the night. Handoff now to McKinney, back to Lotto. Lions settling in now. 13 and a half to play before the end of this game. Driving baseline to the basket.
Nicely done
and
by
he finishes
McKinney.
on the other side of the rim.
Monroe.
Little up and under.
Yeah.
Lions now push the lead up to 10. Lawrence. Handoff. Lawrence now has it on the left wing. Decides to fire a 3 on his own. Shot no good. Rebound by Monroe. But contact underneath the lane. Let's see what they're going to call the foul. Foul's going to be called against McKinney. Oh, wow. I mean, grant you, he sent the man flying. So Warren is back in the game. So now you've got Epps, Warren, Lotto, Hughes, and McKinney on the floor right now. So working the ball around, Lawrence shoots and fires a 3 of his own. Nice rebound and putback is in by Jackson Ulam.
Got to body up. Ball goes up. You got to block out.
So the lead back down to 8. Hughes over to Epps. Lotto hit him with the weave at the top. To the corner, they're going to call Hughes for steps.
Yeah.
Hughes on the outside. That's the second time today that's happened when he's on the, outside right around that 3-point line. He's one of those guys I think needs to start his action with his back to the basket. Just when it needs to happen here.
Maybe but it seems like the further away is from the basket, the greater the chance that he's going to get called for steps.
Hughes is out. Entered the game now is Smith. He returns back to the game. Working the ball around the top. Lions extending the defense. And a nice cut. Wide open 3-point shot, and it rings true for Carter Carbonelli.
Wow.
Or Carbonell, who knocks down the shot. The product from Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh, really? Norman.
And there's going to be a timeout called by Chris Wright. And Chris Wright is talking to coach to Warren as he gets to the sideline here. Again, nobody rotated back and left open a wide open shot. And again, John Brown is not going to miss wide open shots.
No, they're not. They live for it, and that's what I fear, right? To where they all of a sudden get these looks on the outside, and because we have been contesting them straight up, now they start going through, a half-court set, and then the ball swings to an open three, and he's sitting there, feet planted and shoulders square to the basket, and just absolutely drains it. And then we try to come back and answer it, and that's not who we are.
Now, so let me ask you this. John Brown has been winning games by nearly the same margin.
Yeah.
But as far as type of game this is, we're not at 50 points, and we're almost at we're just about 12 minutes to go in this game. Do you like these odds staying in favor of Langston by the scoring total, or do you think that it's not really about the scoring today, it's about the execution, and John Brown could easily win the game, in the mid-60s, as well as they'd be much better given that they average 85 points a game?
Well, I'm looking at 12 minutes. I mean, do you think there's another? And what are they averaging a quarter in terms of point total?
So the first half they scored 33.
Yeah.
So if they double it, 66.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, in other words, they'd have to explode.
So you're thinking the over and under is going to be 70.
Right.
The under is or 65.
Right, because as it stands right now, it's 68 points both teams scored. Back to live action right here. To me, the lower the score, the better it sits for Langston. The higher it goes. But today, Langston's on fire. That's what I'm saying. It's uncharacteristics here. Langston averages 69 points, and they're closer to their average than John Brown is to theirs.
Right.
Kicks it to the corner. Jamison Epps for three. Shot no good, but nice rebound by Smith. Ball in the hands now of Bryce Monroe, who's checked back in the game. Bryce Monroe has a game-high 14 points. Monroe to the cup. Finishes high.
Nicely done by Monroe.
The nice teardrop in. 50-43. Lions up by 7. Ball above the circle by Stewart.
Yep. Notice how they're trying to pull Langston away from the basket.
They're going to throw the ball away. A little miscommunication. We have someone down on the floor right now. They're slow getting up.
Looks like Monroe.
Monroe jumps up. So McCoy comes in the game, and out goes McKinney. Monroe still holding his back here a little bit. Let's see if he'll be all right. Monroe across the timeline. Hands the ball off to Epps. Epps hands it off to Lotto, back to Monroe. Monroe gets the ball to Lotto. Lotto to McCoy. Left wing, Monroe. Monroe to Lotto. 3 seconds on the clock. Lotto's got a step back 3-point shot. Back rim shot, no good. Nice rebound on that play by Miller. Stewart going to get the ball in the hands now of Ulam. Handoff now to Carbonell. Carbonell back to Stewart. Ball fakes, tries to get inside the lane. Stewart finishes with the left-hand shot. No good. Rebound by Smith. Across the timeline goes Epps. Lions doing a good job also slowing down the tempo. Another thing that you do against a team that's high-powered and offensive, you slow the tempo down.
Yeah, it's man-to-man D right now by John Brown.
10 seconds on the shot clock, though, so they got to get an offensive flow. Monroe looks at the three. Stutter steps, kicks it to the corner. Epps for three. Can't get it to fall. Rebound pulled down by Miller. Here comes the Golden Eagles.
Yep, that's the second three by
That's
Epps.
not Eagles. I'm sorry. That's Edding to the inside. Shot can't fall. And stepping on the end line was Lotto.
Yep. Man, I tell you what, I didn't realize this, but did you realize that Lotto is from Cairo, Egypt? That's pretty interesting.
Hey, it's a worldwide game.
It's a worldwide game. I mean, that's some serious recruiting right there. You get a kid from Cairo, Egypt.
Where's the tape on that?
Man.
It's going to work right now. Given Chris Wright's location where he was before coming to Langston, I think he kept some of those connections because he was in Florida.
Well, actually, he was in Alabama.
What I'm saying, but in that Gulf Coast area.
Yeah, he was at Talladega, so he was down there on the.
So shot by Lawrence is no good. The ball trickles out of bounds, and it will belong to.
Out of bounds to Lions.
So Langston has it. So Epps gets it in. Lions still up by 7, under 10 minutes to go in the game. McKinney comes across the timeline, who's re-entered the game. Bryce Monroe takes a seat. Lotto to the corner. Ball fake by Hughes, who's also back in the game.
Okay,
back on top to Epps.
Give it up, Hughes.
Left wing inside. Epps on the lane.
Oh, no.
Dumps it out to Lotto. Lotto kicks it to the corner. 3-point shot by McKinney. McKinney can't get it to fall. McCoy with the rebound. McCoy can't get it to fall. Back tap out. McCoy gets the rebound. McCoy resets the offense. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Langston decides to back it up. Nice decision there by Epps. Epps pulls up. Shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Nagode.
That's the third shot attempt by Epps that he's missed.
Lawrence loses
Turnover.
it in the lane. Lotto has it. Langston has numbers. No, they're not. Tied up at 3. Lotto drives inside. Drops it in. Lotto now officially has 14 on the afternoon.
52-43, Lions lead.
Across the timeline. George.
Stolen.
Lotto with the steal, throws it up to McCoy. McCoy drives down Main Street and drops it in, or there's a foul on the floor. So they're going to stop action there.
Loose ball foul.
So Lotto officially will have 3 steals in the game.
That's his second personal foul.
So the Lions are going to inbound the ball right there in front of the Golden Eagle bench. Team foul situation. Langston has 4 against John Brown's 3.
Timeout.
Timeout on the floor.
Timeout.
See. So John Brown calls the timeout. It is a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here. Just a reminder, coming up on Sunday, December 29th, the Court of Dreams will be in full effect as Langston University will take on Oklahoma Wesleyan. Both teams are nationally ranked right now, and the game will take place at the Paycom Center. Tip-off is set at 12:15. Tickets are $35, include admission to the Court of Dreams matchup between Langston and Oklahoma Wesleyan, and admission to the Thunder's matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies, or a game later on in that January 2nd game as they take on the Los Angeles Clippers. So you could choose either or. So if you don't want to see John Morant, you can say, okay, that's fine. I can in turn go watch, watch the Los Angeles Clippers play.
Yeah.
And you might be able to see Kawhi Leonard play, well, if he suits up.
But
anyway,
you need to come on out and support your Lions, though.
Yes, and the tickets are $35, and the money will be split between both schools. You can also get your tickets right now at LangstonSports.com.
Awesome.
So back to live action right now. On the floor for the Lions, we have, looks like we have Zach Thomas in the game for the first time today, along with Bryce Monroe, Cameron McCoy, and also Darius Hughes on the floor right now. McCoy has it above the circle. Ball's tipped out of bounds by Elijah Lawrence. It will remain Langston ball. Monroe's back in the game. Looks like he's looking kind of spry again, so he looks like he'll be all right. Just under 8.5 to go in the game. Foul situation 4-3. Lions have 4. Across the timeline goes Monroe. The Lions attacking the clock, but they got to hurry. You got 10 seconds on the shot clock. Make that 8. And Monroe fires a 3. Back rims, but McCoy chases down the rebound.
Yeah,
some key rebounds in the second half by McCoy.
Yep.
14 seconds on the play clock. Again, Monroe attacking the clock. Monroe drives into the lane, drawing double teams. turns and fires from the elbow shot. No good.
Good rebound by
McCoy.
McCoy.
Can't get it to fall. McCoy gets another rebound.
Yeah.
And then McCoy's going to reach over the back, call the foul there. So a tremendous job by McCoy, just collecting rebounds like a kid collects candy. McCoy now has 5 rebounds in the game. How about all 5 of his have been offensive rebounds?
Hey, man, that's want to right there. Anytime that, you're there and of course, you know that you're playing from outside in, the ball goes up and you still manage to beat the defender and get position for a rebound, you're really hustling.
All right, McCoy knocks down, gets his first point of the game. Substitutions coming in for John Brown. So it looks like Stewart returns to the game along with George. Now, interesting enough, LeBron George had 8 first-half points. If I'm not mistaken, he has not scored in the second half of this game, and he is not.
Who?
George.
Oh, okay.
LeBron George. Screen at the top there, giving it inside. A nice strip on the hand by McKinney. McKinney gets the ball in the hands now. It's up court here. Back in the hands of Zach Thomas. McKinney back to Zach Thomas. Hands off to Monroe. Back to McKinney. Plenty of time on the play clock. The Lions are determined to take 15 seconds off each possession when they have it. Monroe above the circle. Drives into the lane. Tries to finish with the reverse. Score it!
Nicely done by Monroe.
56-43. The Lions up by 13. Nice job on that play.
Yes. Great move by Monroe. Goes in with the reverse layup over his head.
Monroe now has 18 points to go along with 2 rebounds on the afternoon. Looking to add one more now. Game high 19 points for Monroe. Monroe averages on the course of the season overall for the Lions 14 points a game. He's above his average. And finishing at the lane, but Monroe reverses that shot by George. George has been shut out in the second half of this game. Monroe. Hands off to Jamison Epps. Epps back to Monroe. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Monroe to Epps. Epps with the jump shot. Rebound by Smith.
You go. Take it, Smith. You on the block. Your ball shouldn't have come back out.
Well, in this case, the Lions are also attacking the clock.
Yeah.
Ball in the left wing by Epps. Back up top to Monroe. Monroe thinks about a 3. 3 seconds on the clock. Fires a shot and knocks it down. Monroe with 20 plus in the game as he's now got 21. 21. Shout out 21 Savage. Ball.
Monroe on the rebound.
Miller misses that shot.
The point guard is doing everything tonight. He's rebounding, he's getting steals, he's scoring.
So when we look at this in the second half of the game, we were talking about how the Lions were -6 at halftime.
Yeah.
So far in the second half, the Lions have out-rebounded John Brown 18-8 in the second half. Just something to note. Pull up from the elbow, Monroe, and he can't be stopped. He's on a heater. Somebody's on fire.
He's insane, ladies and gentlemen.
Monroe's got 23 on the night, and the Lions have extended their lead to 18, the biggest lead with 5:36 to go. Timeout on the floor. Lions on fire.
Wow. That's outstanding play by Monroe. Notice where he's shooting the ball too, right?
Right.
Earlier they were shooting threes, but Monroe, all of his last several shots have been inside the arc. So again, even he recognizes that, you know what, we need to work the ball in a little bit more now.
Now, to your point, we were talking about, is it sustainable in the second half?
Yep.
So in three-point shooting, the Lions are 2 of 10 in the second half.
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah.
But John Brown is 1 of 6 in the second half, 16%.
So it's not sustainable for either team right now.
You ask about better free throw shooting.
Right.
How about the Lions? 4 of 5 in the second half, 80%.
Take
John Brown, 1 of 2, 50%, but only 2 shots at the free throw line.
Right.
But really, the money's being made on field goal choices. Lions 10 of 24, 41% in the second half. John Brown 4 of 15, 26% in the second half of this game. So the identity, what was sustainable, something's got to give. Well, not if you're the Langston Lions. The Langston Lions have gone above and beyond of their identity. They are outperformed John Brown in the second half of this game. Now, there's still a lot of time left.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes and 36
but
seconds
it's an
left.
18-point deficit right now that they're up against.
And you know what thing that's holding up for the Lions? Defense. Curious to see what those turnover stats are going to look like.
All right, going inside, and George tries to finish at the rim, but he's going to be fouled by McKinney. So George, who had 8 first-half points, is looking for his first points of the second half of this game. So McKinney picks up foul number 3. So George trying to get back to the free throw line here. So George knocks down his first points of the second half. He's got 9 in the game.
Wow, I'm telling you, I'm looking at George's profile, and pretty interesting. The young man is from Chicago, Illinois, but he went to high school in Sprayberry, Georgia, and played at Northeastern A&M, NEO, up in Miami, Oklahoma.
Going to work. Going to get the ball on the left wing. Back up top now to McKinney. And again, the Lions have done a much better job of not fouling in the second half. That's kept them also off the free throw line. And Bryce Monroe goes inside the lane, draws contact, will go back to the free throw line again. Monroe's looking for points 24 and 25. When we start looking at what Monroe has done, Monroe in the first half of the game, Gary, when we look at his overall production in this game, he had 8 points. He has dropped 15 in the second half of this one.
Right.
So 5:02 to go, and Monroe keeps that streak going.
And he's at the free throw line doing everything that you want him to do. He's knocking down free throws. He's getting in the paint. He's playing good defense. He's even rebounding as a point guard. He's only, 6 foot?
Monroe is every bit of 5'10".
5'10". That means that he's probably more like 5'9" or 5'10". I don't know. They have him listed at 5'10"?
Yeah, on the paper they do.
Wow.
25 points tonight for Monroe. Nice ball fake by Stewart. Has to unload. George tries to drive to the elbow. The Lions run him out. Now driving. Edding tries to finish with the reverse. Nice deflection of the ball by Smith. It will be deflected out of bounds and remain John Brown ball.
Yeah, Mario McKinney came in at the last minute, tapped it just before it went out.
So going to work.
Oh,
nice block by Lotto. Miller today has had an uncharacteristic game. Miller has only been 2 of 5 from the floor, 4 points on the afternoon. Miller now has it. This is a guy who averages 20 points a game for this team, and the Lions have all but kept him on the quiet list. You would think Santa wasn't delivering things for Miller this year.
Wow.
That he's on the naughty list, the way the Lions defense has treated him today.
Yeah, it just can't seem to get anything going.
So kicking the ball over to Monroe. 9 seconds on the clock. He asked for a screen by Smith. Monroe wheels and deals and pulls up with 2 of them in his face. Shot no good that time. George is going to throw it up. Stewart trying to track it down. Tries to lay it up. Smith can't control it. Knocked out of bounds. It will remain John Brown ball.
3:59 left in the game. 63-45. Langston Lions lead.
Foul situation here. Even John Brown is finding themselves in a difficult spot there. 5 team fouls for Langston. 6 team fouls.
Loses it.
Drew Miller cannot, and they're going to call the ball knocked out of bounds. It will remain John Brown ball. But they have 6 team fouls, so the Lions can get to the 1-and-1 on the next foul here. There seems to be a little discussion here at the scorers table, so they're going to try and see how that pans out right now. So in the game now is Lotto. So McKinney, Smith, Jamison Epps reaches and puts his hand in the cookie jar that time. Or the foul's going to be called this time against McKinney.
Yeah.
So team foul, that should be team foul number 5.
Yeah, what is that for McKinney?
McKinney in the game just picked up his 4th foul.
Okay.
Team foul number 6 now. Ball up top, George looking for airspace, can't find any. Gets to the lane and Smith with a nice block here. Ball's going to be knocked out by Epps. So it will be 4 seconds on the shot clock. John Brown has to get it in, and get the shot off quickly.
Foul against the Lions, number 5.
Yeah.
So Cameron McCoy getting called with the foul. So 17 foul.
He got caught holding.
So
that's what Coach Wrights don't like that. He's like, hey, it's only 4 seconds on the shot clock, and then here you are going to hold because you got caught sleeping.
So Miller going to the free throw line.
Now we're putting him on the free throw line for a guy who could probably shoot 80%.
Miller.
No, he missed his first one.
Missed the first shot of the 1-and-1. So McKinney comes back the other direction. 63-45, 3:21 to go. Smith knocks down a nice 2-point shot. Pushes the lead back up to 20. So 20-point advantage with the Lions with 3 minutes to go. And McCoy's going to make contact, was going to put George at the free throw line. And Cameron McCoy's got to understand the situation here. So McCoy is going to check out of the game after picking up what looks to be foul number 3 or foul number 4. So George to the line, 1-and-1.
Yeah, this is what we don't want.
And he knocks it down. LeBron George now with 11 points on the afternoon, looking for point number 12, and he is the only John Brown player in double digits, by the way. And he knocks down both his free throws today. I mean, he does not believe in loose change. He is now, that young man is now 9 of 10 from the free throw line today. When 9 of your 12 points come from the free throw line, that tells us how you get your work.
Oh, yeah. You're not giving it away.
Ball at
Epps.
18.
Rims out.
18-point lead, and Miller grabs the rebound now. Here comes John Brown over to George. George fires for 3, and he knocks that one down. And that's 15 points for George. George averages 13.5 per game. He's at 15 in the game itself. So a great job by George heating up, and the lead's down to 15. Again, John Brown averages 85 points per game. Now, the chances of them scoring 30, unless it goes to overtime, not likely. But the point is, this is a team that can get on a roll.
Right, they can get on a roll, and you don't want that. So I'm making, again, you can't get lackadaisical or complacent. You need to definitely ensure that you get maximum effort out of these last several possessions. Make sure that you come away with something. If they foul you, make sure that you do what you can to convert, the free throws that you can. No ill-advised shots. Make sure you're working that shot clock down. I mean, that's what you got to come away with.
No doubt. So in this particular game, the identities of the team have remained the same, but Langston at this point has out-executed in the second half of this game against John Brown. For all intents and purposes in this game, it was really just a 2-point game before the second half has begun. And that's the part that needs to be really understood. You know, it was a 2-point margin, and now it's a 15-point lead. Langston has pushed it as far as 20 points in the second half of this game. So now the Lions set to inbound the ball. So Bryce Monroe's back in the game. Full court press. McKinney gets across the timeline. The Lions go to start attacking the clock.
Yeah, they're going to try to foul him.
Smith trying to set a screen, and contact is made. So McKinney's going to go to the free throw line. 1-1. And McKinney this afternoon has been 2 of 5 overall. So they're going to have to start knocking them down now, Gary. I mean, the object is to score with the clock moving, right? But if the clock's not moving, you've got to make them count. McKinney knocks down free throw number 1. He is now 3 of 6, 50% on the day.
Yeah, I actually saw McKinney at halftime. He came out and he shot the ball well at halftime, practicing his free throws. That's what he did. Everyone else was doing other stuff, taking other jump shots, and but McKinney was at that free throw line.
He has 4 points on the afternoon, and he's got all his money from the free throw line today. So 4 points, 4 fouls. Just got to continue to bring the defense. Miller for 3, short.
Rebound by Epps.
Epps gets it, now in the hands of Monroe. Under 2 minutes to go. Lions are going to get across the timeline, and I'm expecting them to attack the clock.
No, they just got to make sure they don't get a shot clock violation. They just need to make sure they use the full allotment of time there. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Epps. 5 seconds.
Epps kicks it over. Lotto with 2 seconds. Step back 3.
Short. Didn't draw any rim.
So shot clock violation, but the lead is 17.
Yeah.
And so even though the possession was empty, it wasn't necessarily a bad possession. So doing work right now. 68 seconds left to go in the game. Working the ball around. Miller now has it. Miller back to Edding. Edding with the shot no good. And it looks like McKinney and it's going to be fouled against McKinney. And Mario McKinney, that is foul number 5.
Yeah.
And he whacked the goat across the head pretty good.
Yeah.
So McKinney is fouled out of the contest.
He played hard.
4 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists in the game.
How many steals?
1.
Seemed like he had more steals than that.
Check to the game for Lions number 5, Cameron McCoy.
So Cameron McCoy checks back in the game now.
And the line shooting 2 for the Eagles, number 3 player.
So ball is in the hand of the Goad now.
So
minute, 9 seconds to go.
Yeah, minute.
Okay, the officials are going to reset everything.
Shooting the 1-and-1 correction. 1-1 check to the game for the Eagles,
substitution.
All right, because it's the front end of it, still a 1-and-1.
Yep. So
9 team fouls for the Lions, 17 fouls for John Brown.
Yeah. John Brown got their free throw shooters and 3-point shooters in the game now.
So Nagode knocks down for his first free throw, 67-51, 16-point margin.
And they're going to have a substitute for him as well as soon as he shoots his second free throw. Misses it.
Back rims that one.
Rebound,
and
Epps.
Epps picks up the rebound here. Monroe almost loses it, but he manages to maintain possession across the timeline. Under a minute to go.
Yep.
The Lions with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Hand off to Epps. Epps at the top, standing on the logo. 9 seconds. Inside to Smith. Smith loses it, or he's fouled on the way to the basket there. So George with his third personal foul. So Smith to the free throw line, shooting the first front end of a 1-on-1. Was it a shooting foul?
It should have been a shooting foul. It depends on how they call it. I didn't see how they called it. Nicely done.
Nice shot by Smith there. Smith with point number 7.
Massive substitutions.
So Epps comes out of the game. And into the game now for the Lions, James Alexandre. Also Zach Thomas. And Smith.
Yeah, good
goes
game.
2 for 2 at the line. Gives him officially 8 points on the afternoon.
Yeah, Lotto, Epps, and Monroe, those 3 guys, they really played a heck of a game.
All right, George drives in the lane. The ball's going to be knocked loose, or attempted to be knocked loose there by number 35, Zach Thomas. That foul will give them the double, put the Golden Eagles in the double bonus. To the free throw line they goes George, who has a team high 15 points for the Golden Eagles. George, steady dribble, shot up, knocks it down.
Yep. Massive substitution by John Brown.
So into the game for them, number 35, Evan Goldman. Number 33, Nathan Vachon. And it looks like number 15, Tristan Battie is in the game. As George knocks down the free throw, he checks out of the game.
Yeah, George had a great game tonight.
He had his same output. I talked about him with only 8 first-half points. He finishes with 16 in the game.
Yeah.
Going to work, McCoy to the left wing up top to Thomas. Who hands it over to Warren. Warren drives in the lane, tries to get it off the glass. He can't get it to go. Ball back in the hands of Warren with 18 on the clock. Zach Thomas fires up a basket. He can't get it to fall. And the shot's going to be tracked down there. And Thomas is going to hit the ball, knock it out of bounds. It will be John Brown ball with 9 seconds on the clock. So the Lions with 6 seconds on the clock.
Out of bounds. Golden Eagles retain the possession.
Yep, John Brown will maintain possession.
So a ball inbounded now to Gabini. I'm sorry, that was Ulam. And that is the final shot of the game. And the Lions are going to walk away with a 14-point win, 69-55. So the Lions improve on the season to 10-2, 7-3 in conference play. John Brown falls to 8-4 overall and 6-2 in conference play. So the Lions now are sitting up there, right there next to Wayland Baptist, and the Lions will get a second shot at the apple against Wayland Baptist in January, coming up here pretty soon. So going to be looking forward to have that game coming up in a little while. So taking a look, the real stats of this game is really in the second half before we get into the team stats overall. The Lions outscored John Brown in the second half of this game 34-22, shooting 11 of 30 from the floor, 36% overall, but 2 of 12, 16% from 3 in the second half of the game. But the free throws, 10 of 11, 90% from the free throw line was Langston in the second half of this game.
That's excellent. And that's what they had to do, because look at John Brown. They're still shooting 72% through the entire game.
Right.
Or that's the second half.
That's the second half.
Second half. So, again, Langston had to be almost perfect, and they were.
So the Lions were +9, when we talk about free throw shooting, rebounds in the game. So that's overall the difference in the game when you start looking at the total numbers. Now, when we look at the total numbers overall, the Lions end up shooting 40% in field goals, 9 of 26 from 3, 34%, which is not bad. But John Brown never got going, 4 of 15, 26% overall in the game. Those are the numbers that were sustainable. The Lions give up average, holding teams shooting 44% overall in terms of their defensive paralysis. Overall, opponent field goal shooting 40%. John Brown right there at 42%.
Let's look at real quick. I'm just curious, turnovers.
Turnovers in the game overall, 7 turnovers for the Lions, 16 for John Brown.
There it is right there.
That's really what it is. The bench points. Remember, at the end of the first half, the bench points overall in the game was 11-4 at the end of the first half.
Right.
It's going to finish 18 to 14.
Langston
had 14.
So
but Lions
they
only
the gap.
So they had 10, holding John Brown to 7. Outscored him 10-7 in bench points in the second half.
Yep.
We needed a little bit more. You were talking about just a little bit of changes, but the biggest point change in the whole game would have been points in the paint. They had 20. John Brown did 20 points in the paint in the first half. They had 6 in the second half of this game.
Wow.
Where the Lions, points in the paint, and that's the other statistic of the game just to talk about real quick. The Lions had 4 points in the paint.
They
finished with 16, 12 points in the second half. So the statistics where the Lions had to be better, they were better.
Yep.
So if we have to give a game ball out to a particular Lion player, I don't think it's any question. Give it to, Bryce Monroe, who dropped 25 in the game.
Dropped them hard.
3 rebounds. A young man who ended up scoring basically, we want to say he had 8 first half points and end up scoring 17 in the second half of this game overall. So when you look at the second half numbers, the numbers tell you the story on everything that you need to know. Second chance points at the end of the first half, and we didn't get to that statistic, and that'll be the last one. They had 9 second chance points. They finished John Brown with 13. Langston, none. They finished with 8. Mm-hmm. So the Lions got better in the categories that matter. We did not see Tim Igweefe.
And there's one more thing that I want to show you. Points off turnovers. Langston won that battle 19-9.
Overall. And when you start looking at that number again, you always want to compare that to the first half of that game. It was 12, so Lions still maintained it in the second half of the game. Now, there were also personnel changes overall in the game if you want to look at it. We did not see Igweefe in the second half of the game.
No, we did not.
And we saw a lot more Joshua Smith, who showed he was playing, who could play well. We also saw more action from Darius Hughes. Yeah. Those guys made the difference and showed that they could fill the gap in. So if one guy doesn't have it this game, they'll go to somebody else. Yeah. But needless to say, the Lions have now, extended the win streak overall to a total of 5 consecutive games in that. And in the conference, that is the longest win streak in the conference right now. So for Langston, now they can turn gears to the game on the Court of Dreams on the 29th against Oklahoma Wesleyan. It's a non-conference game, but it's going to be another game where the measuring stick will measure the team's identity. We need to see more of this from the Lions, more points in the paint, less reliability on the 3, and it's maintaining the same defensive identity. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm excited for this upcoming game against Oklahoma Wesleyan for sure. And again, it looks like John Brown and Langston's going to trade spots. So Langston's going to move up to the second position in the conference behind Wayland Baptist. And again, as you said, they're going to have another shot at Wayland. Is that game going to be here
in January?
I think that game is going to be, because I think Wayland beat Langston on the road.
So let me see if I can take a quick gander at that while we're sitting here wrapping up time. Yep. But I do believe that game will be. Let's see. That game was in Plainview, so that game is here.
Yeah. So that'll help
right here. Also, putting this in mind, that game against Oklahoma Wesleyan, they are the number 24th ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
So
nationally, it's a national matchup.
So it's a nationally ranked matchup that you'll get to see there. Awesome. So we're going to get out of here so Gary Woods can hit the mall. You can catch him there. He'll be wearing his orange and blue at the mall. And he's going to go start his Christmas shopping because he got all the treats he wants. And he can give out free Langston tickets. Hit him up on social media. Let Gary give you some tickets. I'll just let you do that. But anyway.
Don't hit me up on social media. I'm telling you that right now. You will be disappointed.
All right. He's Gary Woods. I'm Maurice
All
Prince.
right.
Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our sponsors, LU Athletics. Of course, we want to thank the Black Chronicle newspaper, Community Health Centers of Oklahoma, OERB, and Tinker Federal Credit Union. Lions win. L's up. Girls win earlier. Boys win late. Yeah, ladies won 58-39, and then the boys finished off the game 69-55. We'll see you guys later on. Next broadcast of Langston basketball.